Hey guys, I'm Justin with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we're checking out the AFE Momentum XP intake, available for the 21 and newer 3.5 liter EcoBoost trucks. Now, you should be checking out this option for your EcoBoost if you're looking for one of the most premium, no tune required intakes on the site to help deliver more power and better throttle response by increasing your airflow by up to 21% over the factory airbox. Now, the AFE here will combine the sealed enclosure with AFE's signature Dry S filter, in addition to a pretty solid 2-year warranty, all for right around that mid $600 price point. Let's focus in a little bit more here on the Momentum XP intake, and the biggie that I like to point out with these intakes, especially this one, is that you're getting a very high quality sealed enclosure that will ultimately be the best bet at keeping your intake air temperatures down and your performance up. Let's face it guys, heat is the enemy of performance for basically every engine out there, but forced induction engines like the EcoBoost really do get hurt by excessive heat. Now, with that being said, those open element or open intake filters, they certainly look cool, they sound cool, they can be a bit cheaper, but they are going to be negatively affected by hot engine bay air entering the filter itself, and that can result in a loss of performance. So the AFE here, with its very nice sealed enclosure, will help combat that high engine bay heat. Now, I also like how this option does have this little plexiglass window here. Kind of gives you the appearance of that open filter design, but at the same time, it does allow you to keep an eye on the cleanliness of that filter over time. But sealed enclosure aside, let's talk about what most owners want to hear about, and of course we're talking about performance. Now, the AFE does do that by increasing the flow over the factory setup, again 21% over your factory airbox, and this will help result in power gains of roughly 7 horsepower, 9 pound-feet of torque according to AFE, after the installation without the use of any custom or canned tuning, by the way. Now guys, I just want to be right up front and say these are very believable numbers without the use of any tuning. Sometimes aftermarket manufacturers can throw crazy numbers out there, which just realistically aren't true. They're not believable. This is basically what I like to tell people. High single-digit, low double-digit gains without the use of any tuning is what most owners should expect when upgrading to an intake such as this. Let's move into construction here, guys, and the AFE kits consistently rank amongst some of the nicest in the category from an overall build standpoint. Same can be said for this option here today. For the airbox, you're looking at a one-piece molded polyethylene. You are getting, again, that really nice kind of etched plexiglass there, allowing you to keep an eye on the filter itself. Now, the tube setup with this particular intake is a bit different. It is unique, with this kit separating what is traditionally kind of like a one-piece intake tube. Instead, you're getting twin aluminum mandrel bent 3-inch tubes. AFE says this flows a little bit better, certainly looks a little cooler under the hood if you ask me, and they do toss in a little hose in between those two mandrel bent tubes to kind of balance out the intake pressure. Now, inside that airbox, you will find one of AFE's Pro Dry S filters. It's a 9-inch tall filter, obviously 2 inlets to kind of tap into the twin mandrel bent intake tubes there. And that filter itself consists of 3 layers of a high flow synthetic material. Does not require any oiling, 0 maintenance, maybe the occasional cleaning, of course, depending on your driving conditions. But again, that built-in window really will be beneficial, helping you make sure that filter is clean at all times. Finally, guys, the kit does include all of the necessary hardware, couplers, clamps, everything needed for a very painless install. Price point for the AFE is not going to be cheap. Again, we did mention earlier, this is one of your more premium options in the category. It's gonna live around that low to mid $600 range. Again, definitely one of the more expensive options on the site for the EcoBoost powered F-150s. Now, if you do like that AFE quality and you wanna stick with a dry filter and a sealed enclosure, you could always check out the Magnum Force instead, which will be nearly half the price of this option that we have today. Let's switch our focus over to the install, and the site's gonna correctly peg this at a pretty soft 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. Call it an hour or so to complete from start to finish. Now, to give you a better idea of how this one might go down in the garage or driveway at home, let's throw it out to the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
For this install, you will need an impact, a ratchet, various size extensions, a 3/8 to 1/4 inch adapter if necessary, 7, 8, and 13 millimeter sockets, a small flathead screwdriver, and a clip removal tool. What's up guys, today we're going to be doing an intake on our F-150, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do here is come to the back of our main intake tube where our temperature sensor is located, and we're going to go ahead and unplug that. So we'll go ahead and push in on the release. Go ahead and pop that off. Now once we have that unplugged, we'll go ahead and release our harness here from the factory airbox. It has these two little plastic clips. So we'll grab our clip removal tool, just go ahead and pop these off. And we can set this back here out of the way. Now we'll go ahead and release the tabs holding the upper portion of our airbox in place. So we'll just pop those off like so. Go ahead and pull our airbox out of its set point. Next, we'll go ahead and loosen up this worm gear clamp here holding our intake tube on with our 7mm socket and extension on our impact. Next, we'll go ahead and loosen up this lower clamp here, again with our 7mm socket. Now this one is pretty hard to see. It's tucked up back behind the intake tube, but again, you can reach it with your extension and socket. It's gonna come right beside these hoses here, so you can kind of go in between them if you need to, or tuck down beside them like this. Next, we can pop our coolant reservoir hose out of its little retainer here. Just go ahead and let that hang. Now we can go ahead and take our intake tube and upper portion of our airbox off. So we'll go ahead and work this free from the upper tube. That does have some flex room, so it's not going to be that rigid, but you definitely want to be careful popping this out. Get the upper one released, pop our lower one off, then we can set this aside. Now we can remove the lower half of our airbox and our air dam. So we've got a 13mm bolt holding it in place. So we'll go ahead and grab our 13mm socket on our ratchet and pull that out. Set that aside. Next, we'll grab our clip removal tool and remove the two retainer clips holding our air dam down. So now the lower half of your airbox does have two little dowels that are in place in rubber isolators, which you just need to go ahead and work those loose and kind of pull up, and you can pop your airbox loose and set it aside. Alrighty guys, so we've got our factory intake off and we've got it up here on the table because there's a couple of things we're going to need to swap over to our new setup in order to get it mounted onto the truck. So first of which is going to be our mounting grommet for our lower airbox here. Remember that was that 13mm bolt we took out. So what we're going to do is pull that off. Now there's a metal sleeve on the inside of it. You can just go ahead and push that out first. It's going to help this grommet come out way easier. And then there is a slot up top and you can just pop that grommet right out. So we've got that out, we'll set that aside. Then next we're going to pull out our temperature sensor from our factory intake tube. Now this does have a little locking tab on it that you'll need a small screwdriver to go ahead and just push up slightly on that tab. You don't want to break it, you definitely want to be gentle with this. And then once you have that tab up and released, you can give it a quarter turn counterclockwise, and then carefully work that out of its seat here. Now it is going to be kind of tight, so you just want to be nice and gentle, work it back and forth and pull it, and then it'll come out. So now we'll grab our new intake tube, and that has a fitting for our temperature sensor. It also has the little dowel here for the locking tab. So what we're going to do is set this down in here again very gently. Go ahead and make sure this seats fully. You want that tab to be sitting all the way down. Then we'll give it a turn clockwise. That'll lock that into position like so. Then we can go ahead and grab our new airbox here, and you'll notice on the little jut out, it has a hole that we're going to install our factory mounting grommet to. So we'll go ahead, get that in position. You just want to work it through and make sure it fully seats. Then we're going to take that metal sleeve and insert it from the inside out because that's the way our bolt's going to go. I'm just going to go ahead and put that in the position like so. Next, we're going to go ahead and install our small crossover tube. That's going to be on the same tube that we put our temperature sensor on this fitting here. So we'll go ahead and grab one of our provided hose clamps. We're going to slide this into position onto our hose. And we may even want to loosen this clamp a little bit, so we grab our small flathead screwdriver again. Just loosen it up. And once you work that onto the hose, we'll go ahead and install it onto our fitting here. You want to make sure that's nice and all the way on there and seated, and you want to orient it exactly opposite of your temperature sensor. So when it's facing right up, it's going to look like this. Then we'll go ahead and tighten this clamp down, again with our small flathead. Okay. So now before we install our new intake, we're going to have to install this little addition to our factory vent tube into our driver's side turbo inlet. So we're going to go ahead and come to our vent tube fitting here. And again, this is on the driver's side. And we're going to go ahead and push this tab back to release the clamp. We'll go ahead and pop that off. Then we're going to grab our addition tube here. And it is labeled which side of the slash cut goes towards turbo. So we'll go ahead and set that in place. Make sure that goes all the way down and seats properly. Then we can go ahead and reinstall our vent tube fitting, make sure that locks back into place. So now that we've got our vent tube insert installed, we can go ahead and install our airbox portion. Now again, it's got the locator dowels that are going to go into those rubber isolators. So we'll go ahead and line those up. That is a little bit tricky because you can't really see them, but you can use your 2 clips and your bolt as your reference point. And make sure these go all the way in. Now we'll install our 2 push clips for our air dam. So those are going to go right in like our factory ones came out. Just pop those into place, like so. So now we're going to go ahead and reinstall that 13mm mounting bolt for our air box. So what we're going to do is reach in through the filter opening and go ahead and get this started. And once we have that started, we're going to go ahead and grab a long extension and our 13mm socket on our ratchet and tighten that down. Now we can go ahead and install our filter itself, and it has these little tabs here around the end that are going to lock in place to our housing. So we'll go ahead and get this in. Go ahead and press this into place. And should pop right in like that. And we're just going to go ahead and set our clamps in place here. And leave them loose for now just so they're in position. So now we can install our couplers onto our factory turbo inlets. We'll go ahead and get our clamp onto our coupler. Now the tapered one with the reduction on it is going to go to our larger, lower turbo inlet. Go ahead and set that on there. Just make sure your clamp goes on first. So we'll get this into position here. Slide that over our tube. Now you don't want to tighten your clamps yet because we may need to adjust these. Now we'll go ahead and get this one on. Again, make sure you have your clamp on your coupler. Now it's time to install our first intake tube. So again, we've got our clamp. Make sure that's on our coupler first. Our clamp is already on our filter side. And this one's got our temperature sensor in it. Remember, you want it facing in towards the vehicle. Go ahead and get it into this coupler first. Make sure that seats. And if we need to adjust it, we can. We'll get that down into our air filter side. Make sure it's seated there as well. Now we are going to leave this loose for now so we can get our other tube in case we need to adjust it at all. So now it's time to install our other one. So we're going to first install our other hose clamp onto our small crossover tube here. Put that one on there. Also going to install this clamp onto our coupler. And now we'll go ahead and get our small fitting lined up. Make sure this gets all the way seated. Go ahead and get our turbo side in. Followed by our air filter side. Seats all the way. Now we can begin tightening down all of our clamps. So first we've got our little flathead screwdriver. We're going to tighten down our crossover clamp. So that's nice and snug. Then we're going to grab our 8mm socket and extension on our impact and start tightening down all of our other clamps. Now we can go ahead and install our service port cover that's on the back side of our air box here. It's that little opening, and this just pops right into place. Then we're gonna install our little push clip wire harness holder. That's gonna go right on the side here, and this is gonna be in place of our factory harness clips. Go ahead and get our temperature sensor harness through there. Just put that into place, just going to keep it up and out of the way. And then we can go ahead and plug in our temperature sensor. Alrighty guys, that about wraps up our review and install of our AFE Momentum XP cold air intake with Pro Dry S filter and black finish for your 21 to current 3.5 liter EcoBoost F-150. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.